Today we got a very special project I wanted to get started on. So what we're doing is I'm taking some silver. So 2 of these ounces right here are just regular silver that we bought from a distributor, but this silver right here is what is making this whole project special. This is from a family uncle that passed away, and he had this in his possession. And we thought it'd be cool to melt it down and make some sterling silver jewelry out of it to give to the whole family. We're gonna melt this down and purify it first, and then I'm going to add these 2 silver ounces to increase the volume, and then we're gonna turn it into sterling silver, which sterling silver alloy is 92.5% pure silver and then 7.5% other metals. Typically it's copper is the other 7.5%. And so since we got plenty of that, I figured it'd be pretty easy to make sterling silver. So the hardest part's just going to be making sure this is pure and getting any impurities out of it first before we go ahead and compose the sterling silver alloy. All right, so to start off with, here's our crucible that I'm going to be using for silver, which I've only ever used for silver. You can see a couple chunks of borax coated with some silver particulates in there. And here's our chunk of silver that we're going to drop in here, and then we're going to sprinkle on some borax. I don't want to use too much, and that already might be a little too much, but I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of impurities in here, so we're going to use a little bit extra just to make sure we can get all that out and clean it up really nice. Before we put the crucible in, we got a little piece of paper here. What this does, well, it'll create a layer of ash underneath the crucible on top of the fire brick to prevent the two from sticking together due to the high temperatures. Probably gonna need to take a break at some point soon and get this all cleaned up. Alright, the purifying step is done. Let's go ahead and pour it off into a mold, and then we'll clean out the crucible, and then we'll remelt it, making the sterling silver. Try to get that last little droplet. Got it. There we go. Got some pure silver out of that. So now the plan, now that it's purified, we got all the dirt out and stuff, we're going to clean out the crucible. We're going to put the purified stuff in along with the extra volume silver, and then we're going to add in some copper. But in order to figure out how much copper we need to add, we need to weigh all of our silver. Alright, so here is all of the silver. Let me make sure this isn't hot. All the silver that we melted is inside this little baby crucible and weighs approximately 1.7 ounces. There it goes. And then we have an extra 2 troy ounces. So troy ounces are a little bit different from a regular ounce. So make sure you're careful if you're ever measuring that. You can see on the coins themselves, I'm left there, 1 troy ounce. And there you go, 3.8. So it went up 2.1. A more accurate thing might be to go by grams for now, just so I can get the composition a little bit closer and more accurate, because this will have 3 significant figures when you're going off of like 3.8. That's only 2 significant figures, and it's obviously easier to go with the grams when you're trying to calculate exact percentages. So we have 109 grams, and if you divide that by 92.5%, you get about 118. So it's a little bit under 118, but I'm gonna go straight to 118. Slightly more copper, which shouldn't be a big deal. But I don't have any more silver really to work with, so I'm just gonna overestimate the copper a little bit. So we're gonna bring this up to 118 grams of copper. All right, here I got some bare bright copper. This is pure copper here and super clean stuff. So this would be perfect for making the sterling silver. As I put it in there, it's a little over 124, so we got to cut this down to size. Ooh, that's close. Oh, there it goes. It's up to 118 now, so there's our sterling silver composition in here. A little bit of copper, mostly silver. So, all right, well, got the first mold done, the ring. It was kind of a pain because the whole centerpiece wanted to come out with the ring itself, and so I just kind of plopped it back on there and pushed it in. So the only thing I'm hoping it doesn't do is that I didn't push it in very hard, otherwise it'll just flatten out. I'm gonna go ahead and get this clamped together. Okay, so that's all set. I didn't really do any vent holes or anything just because it's such a small piece, I shouldn't really need it. And especially since it's a vertical mold, the vertical mold should allow the gas to escape naturally just by gravity. So we'll get this down here, we'll clean out our crucible, get our metal in there and start melting. Some silver coated borax. Didn't expect it to come out that easy. I just got to do some filing. Quenching is important because it hardens it. Well, here it is. The finished product, sterling silver ring made out of family silver. Man, I couldn't believe how tough the sterling silver was compared to regular, just pure silver. Sterling silver is so much harder with the extra copper. All right, welcome to part 2 of the silver casting series. So yesterday we worked on the ring. The ring turned out really awesome. And so today what we're gonna do is use the rest of that silver. Hopefully, if we don't have enough, then I'll have to go get some more. But we should have enough. And so today I'm going to make 4 teardrop necklaces. Now, here's the mold I have. I'm gonna try to do all 4 in one. I do have a couple concerns, so these obviously being small parts, I hope it turns out. So I did get some MAP gas. So if you don't know what MAP gas is, it's basically kind of like propane, except it burns a bit hotter. It's a different type of gas. You can see here it says 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. I should be able to melt the sterling silver inside my mini crucibles. And then not only that, but since it's sterling silver and not pure silver, it'll also be easier. So whenever you make an alloy and you add different elements and mix different elements together, it typically lowers the melting point. And so pure silver is like around 1760 or something, and then sterling silver is more around like 1640. So it's a little over 100 degrees less for the melting point. So that'll also assist us in doing this. So I'm gonna try doing a handheld melt this time and see if we can get a decent pour that way, because that'll just save me so much propane and so much work and hassle with having to use the bigger crucibles and stuff. Plus it'll keep it more pure so you don't have anything falling in from the furnace, because you guys have seen my furnace getting a little worn out here. So sometimes some of these pieces you can see, especially from the ceiling, can drop in there, and you don't want that to happen. I got lucky yesterday, so, but then also some of the pieces from the crucible can also fall inside as well. I'm not sure if melting in the smaller crucible will be sufficient enough to keep the metal molten long enough, because obviously I can't get it super hot because it's naturally losing heat to the surrounding air. And in the smaller crucibles, there's a lot more volume of air around it, whereas if it's in the furnace inside the crucible, which is already brought up to temperature, it can stay hot a lot longer even during the pour. So let's see how it turned out though. Looks like 2 of them turned out. The one has a small imperfection, so we were able to get 1. That's good, but I was hoping for 4. Let me get this one, the good one, separated out, and then we'll have to remake the mold and remelt. Well, looks like we got another one. Man, I can't get all of them at the same time. It just cools down too quickly. You can see it filled that one first, and then the 2 on the sides have almost an identical issue where it just didn't fill in the top part. Wow, that one didn't work at all. Man, I hate doing small parts. All right, well, let's try again. Two small imperfections. Well, we got one. Nice, finally. Got it. All right, all done. So now I'm gonna get these cut up, polished, holes drilled. Well, here's all 4 sterling silver necklaces made. Got these polished down to 320. Got some holes drilled for the necklaces, and I think they look pretty great. Let me know what you guys think. In this part here, we got the ring. So basically how we're gonna make the mold for this ring, we're gonna take this ring and try to get it a little bit close to the top because I'm running out of silver. I don't have a whole lot of silver left, so I can't afford to have a huge line of excess material. So hopefully this doesn't push all the sand out the top, but push this in here about halfway. Okay, so now we got that pushed in. Now we're gonna kind of like indent the sand in around the sides here, just to kind of get it nice and snug up to the pattern. But we don't want to raise it up, so we're trying to push it down at the same time. Same thing with the inside. I probably should have put a little bit of baby powder on it when I pushed it in, but it should be all right. Definitely lots of grinding, but that's what you gotta do in these situations when you're like me and you don't have a kiln and you can't do investment casting. Alright, so here's the turtle. So you can see it turned out pretty good. Got all the legs and everything. Got the whole shell. Got the face and the head. So just gotta trim off all the edges. Let's get to it. Well, here's the finished turtle. Let me know what you guys think.
It's not who I am underneath, but what I do